It is another A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I am Daniel Lee.
I'm Tom.
Did you ever go by your middle name? I mean, as much as
TC, I mean, that's, as close as
not
it
as
got.
trashy as me. I know you and I try to align our trashiness and kind of, see where our true Floridian roots will shine.
Well,
and
there's
I think I
nothing-
got you with the Dan Lee, the Daniel Lee, Danny Lee.
Do you? Because
TC is not trashier than Danny Lee.
my middle name is Stolen Indian Valor.
Okay, hold on. Well, I've never looked at it like that.
So I'll let you know, that's more trashy than, although you got the General Lee.
Robert E. Lee. Yeah, there's a lot of Lees. Yeah.
There's some bad Lees.
But there's a Bruce Lee.
That's good. Yeah,
but I don't look anything like him.
Yeah.
But I always say that. I remember as a kid thinking that. I remember as a kid sitting in history class, and then there is the thing when you're learning about Robert E. Lee and you're learning about the Confederacy, and then people instantly are like, "Yeah, you're Dan Lee." You're like, and then you're like, "Uh-oh, don't say that." I'm not like that. Let's get some stuff out of the way. Plugging type stuff. We're live on Twitch right now. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. If you like live streams, because that's what everything is now. We used to call it TV and stuff, but now it's just a beautiful digital live stream where you can watch us Monday through Friday. We do it right here from Baldwin Park, Florida, from our own studio. Just go to twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. And yeah.
You bring up a good point, because do you think, I mean, we're almost there now, but people still reference where things are at. But we'll get to a point where if someone is talking about anything, I mean, but especially like a TV show or some sort of entertainment,
Sure.
they won't have to say where it is, because everybody will know. It's just go to the internet and then just search the name, and then there it is.
Yeah.
You don't have to actually look for a particular, it's there on the internet, so all you need to know is the name.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, we're kind of there, but it's like for us, so see, we're not on YouTube really for our stream. We're on Twitch. And a lot of people don't know what Twitch is. I still get asked about that.
Yeah. No, I don't mean that. It's just like a new show comes out on HBO, and
gotcha.
someone's like, hey, this new show, like, oh, where's it at? And then the person will be like, oh, it's on HBO, because that's what you ask. But in the future, no one will ask where is that, because it's irrelevant, because it's on the internet.
Yeah, Apple's done a good job with that. I don't know if you use Apple TV very much.
We have it, and we watched For All Mankind, that Moon show.
No, I just mean the device. Here. Here's the cool thing about it. So we have the device and Apple TV, and then we have like all the dumb streaming stuff that everybody has. But what Apple's done that really helps junior pop-pops like myself is that they've aggregated. Everything's been squished into one area.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for like a show, like this name just popped in my head. I think it's been canceled. But like if you're looking for The Expanse, you don't have to go, is that Hulu? Is that HBO Max? No, you just go to the Apple TV thing and you just type in The Expanse, and it says, no, it's here. And if you just hit the button, it'll navigate your apps and take you there.
Right.
I like that better. I like it all in one spot. Kind of like TV. And
Roku does it too.
It's better. It's just better.
I think they all do it. Where
Roku's dope.
You go up to the search bar and it'll tell you where it's
It's just easier.
What app it's on. Now you may not have it, but then it'll tell you like you got to subscribe.
Correct. Like Paramount.
It'll tell you what. Yeah. All that stuff.
Yeah, we got all that, and that to me that is the easiest way for me to navigate, because I cannot keep track of what things are on. And you know what the answer is normally? Like I ask, well, what's that on? And normally my wife is like HBO Max. HBO Max got some clout. Like in the subscription land, don't sleep on that. That one has a lot of, I find myself saying that as much as Netflix.
And they're getting new release movies and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it'll come out theaters and then HBO Max.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which tells me they have a bunch of liquid money. They
got
but
something.
same thing as Apple. Apple's got an insane amount of just cash. And HBO probably does too. I mean, think about HBO was the OG subscription service that was, I mean, it's huge now, but that used to be an advertisement that the cliche was on every single hotel across the nation. There's like free HBO was like a perk that they would put on their sign.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You still see it in Daytona.
Yeah, yeah, but it's like how like that's a good amount of advertising they got for how many decades that is in like brand recognition, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like it's one of those brands that started, and then you're just it's synonymous with subscription services, right? Like you think of HBO,
Peacemaker.
you think of subscription. Yeah.
The people in the chat room are throwing around Peacemaker, which I guess is on HBO Max. Have you seen that with John Cena?
No.
It's a DC, more of an adult DC styled. I think also a comedy. I think it's like got levity to it. You've got like John Cena playing the role of like, I believe it's just from what I've seen from bits and pieces of the trailer, like an overzealous like all-American superhero type of dude.
Okay.
But it's like an adult with an adult spin on it, you know.
Kind of like
all that stuff. Invincible, The Boys, all that garbage.
Yeah.
Now we have a whole section of things. It's like, well, these are superheroes, but they're flawed. And they do
and
bad
they curse
stuff.
and kill people. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, now you're just talking about us with superpowers.
That started with that movie you liked, the dude, Josh Reynolds, isn't him? Deadpool, sorry.
Oh, Deadpool, or I thought it started even before that. I thought it kind of started with
Ryan Reynolds, sorry.
What was that movie with Rainn Wilson where he played a superhero with some other little girl? You remember it was like they were like superheroes, but they were like ragtag teens.
It was
and
called
like
like
ultra violent,
badass or
badass.
something.
Yeah,
yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good. Sorry, it just felt right. It just felt right to throw it in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, kick ass, not badass.
Yeah.
We've
Kick
been
ass.
conditioned to say badass so much. Yeah, kick ass. I think it all started with kick ass. That's where I think this whole like anti-hero, like we're rooting for them, but they're also kind of bad.
Yeah, this is the rated R superhero movie.
Or it's called Super. I remember that. That's a different one. I'm getting them all mixed up.
Yeah.
And Kick-Ass, yeah, that was Elliot Page. That's right.
And Righteous Gemstones that we've been watching a new episode.
Oh, did you
the new
finish
season.
that?
No, I haven't yet. I'm two behind.
It's
but
good. You got two really good ones, and they're easy. They're just so easy to watch.
Told my father-in-law about Righteous Gemstones, and he started watching it and loves it.
Well, it's crazy. It's just an
yeah.
insanely and they're taking some chances. Is that HBO? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, I like everything just in one little area because I'm such a dumb old man. But yeah, we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube. We'll continue to be there until we have a place where you can go and search Tom and Dan, and then it'll just say like they're on Twitch, they're on YouTube. Here's their Instagram, here's their Twitter. I mean, the internet sort of does that, but not like I want it.
Yeah, it's getting closer.
Would you like to do some voicemail messages, my friend?
Yep.
Voicemails are easy, and we encourage you to leave them. 1-844-TOMNDAN. That's our regular landline number that you can call and talk into. Or we have an app that's totally free. You can hit the button under mediocre messages and leave us a message that way as well. Here is a soccer fan, Tom, calling in to talk about Manchester United.
Hey, Tom, Dan, and Sam. BDM from New York here. I am a Manchester United supporter. Sorry, Dan. And I was watching the EPL the other day, and I also happened to follow Samantha on Instagram. And I happened to just see that I think Victor Lindelof, the center back for Manchester United, looks quite a bit like Travis, Samantha's husband.
All right. Okay, I'm pulling him up right now.
Well, all white people look the same.
Yeah, they kind of do. And they smell like onions. Like we smell like onions when we get wet in the rain. Especially you have like pomade or something in your hair. The rain
I never got
with
that.
The acidity of your white skin. It makes you smell like onions.
I think it's just BO, right?
No. I mean, try me. I'm just saying. You walk outside in the rain, stand in the rain for a second, go back inside as a white person and smell your skin. You'll smell like onions. Plus, I've had like non-white people tell me this for years. Or maybe they just wanted to clown me, but I'm going with it. I'm going with it. Let's look at this dude and see if he looks like Samantha's hubby. Okay. Go to the internet here and boom. All right. What do you think? I see it. I say a little bit.
Yeah. Again, it's white dude. He's
Floppy hair,
skinny, good looking,
pale.
Yeah. There you go.
I'd
Looks
say
like Samantha's
fit.
husband.
I'd say fit. I wouldn't say skinny, and that's not a knock. I'm just saying I'd say fit.
Yeah.
Like skinny, I think of like like Remy's kind of skinny. Like he's like a beanpole.
Yeah. Again, all white people generally look the same, starting with their white skin. You're like
there.
all right, from far away, you all kind of look the same.
Christine says her husband looks like Tim Tebow. I don't see it, and I know what your husband looks like. I don't see that at all. Maybe the beardy like thing, the 5 o'clock shadowy thing. Maybe, I don't know.
I saw a TikTok video that made me think Tim Tebow is really dumb.
He is really dumb.
Yeah.
My wife met him in Blue Zoo, the restaurant here in town, and overheard him, and she said it was like hard to listen to him talk. It was like listening to somebody that had not been gifted a full brain.
Yeah. Well, okay. You can't be that dumb if you played in the NFL as quarterback, because you need to have a
lot of remembering.
Well, that, and there's a certain intelligence level you need just to read defenses and go through progressions and know all the plays and remember them all. Now, whether he was limited, I mean, some quarterbacks are limited to what they can do because of that, and some quarterbacks have higher QB intelligence than others, but still there's got to be a baseline to even get you there, or you couldn't even do it, right?
Yeah, well, even in in the military, you have the guys that are like doing the the entry level stuff, and then you have these like tacticians that are strategists, and like these generals that are like military geniuses, right? So there's always going to be a varying degree of how good you are.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he played a position that's super hard and takes a certain baseline intelligence.
But he didn't do it well.
But that wasn't necessarily because, and I don't know that much about it, mainly his throwing motion and that kind of thing. I don't know if it was anything to do with his intelligence or his decision making. I have no idea. Anyway, my point is, I thought that, the joke that he's dumb was, some people call people dumb, and like it's just the internet, or like, who knows, like how dumb could he be? And then I saw a video of him at a golf tournament. I don't know when this is, because TikTok is all over the place.
I like flatbread. Did he say that? Because
no.
That's what he said to my wife.
It has nothing to do with...
Yeah, flatbread. I like flatbread.
It has nothing to do with what he did. Now, I understand I'm about to say something is like, all right, that doesn't mean he's dumb. He's just having fun. But okay.
He got 22 out of 50 on the Wonder Bread, somebody said.
The Wonder Lick?
Yeah, I was being stupid.
Anyway, he's like at some sort of golf tournament, and then he tells this guy, which I don't know if this was a guy, like, because the TikTok video is so short. I don't know if it's someone out of the audience or someone that was anyway, he tells him, if you land this on the green, and he's pretty far or whatever. He's like, if you land this on the green, I'm gonna throw you in the lake. Like, there's a lake right there.
Oh, what a great prize!
And and the guy hits a good shot, and he lands on the green. Everybody goes crazy, and then Tim Tebow runs. Now he's playing golf in some sort of charity golf tournament, and the guys that this is not like him on a Sunday drunkenly with friends. This is at an event, right? There's people, there's a crowd watching. Yeah. It's televised, so it's not just like. You out with your friends, and you're hammered.
Did he not stop?
He picked him up.
I'll have to kill you now.
No, he picked him up and he ran and jumped in the lake. And then I was like, now it's funny he did that. Good entertainment.
He's a man of his word.
But it's like you're at this golf tournament, you're fully dressed.
You're wearing white. You don't need to get in the poop water.
And then it's like, yeah, I bet you could have been like, you could have picked him up, ran like you were going to do it, and then pulled back, and everybody would have laughed.
He didn't need to do it. He could have just said, hey, that thing about the leg? I didn't really mean that.
Or like pretended and the fact that he followed full through. Because
too stupid to know that what he was doing was not needed. Yeah,
because now you're soaked. You have to get out. You have to go back to the clubhouse. Like I don't know.
You feel like later if you were talking to him like driving home, and you'd be like, yeah, you didn't have to do that. And he'd be like, didn't know how to do what? And you're like, you didn't have to throw the guy. But I said I was going to do it, so I felt
Not
like
that
I
dumb.
needed to do it.
No, he's not that dumb. I'm just
My
saying.
wife said he is.
He just, I was like, man, that's kind of a dumb thing to do. Like,
It's an
and again,
unnecessary thing. How did the other guy feel?
he was laughing because I think he was from the audience, and how funny is that? Like, now you got a story that you were there and Tim Tebow picked you up and threw you in the lake because you hit a ball in the green. Like, that's an awesome. Everybody got what they want. Why it's dumb? Because they got good people got good TikTok videos.
Soundbite.
Yeah, there's like video of this happening. The guy got an awesome story, but why it's dumb? Because what's in it for Tim Tebow? Like, it doesn't help his career. All it does is make me and probably other people think you're dumb for doing that, and it's embarrassing a little bit.
It
like
is,
you're a
yeah.
millionaire.
You didn't need to do it.
Yeah, you didn't need to do it. It's not like you're Steve-O. You know what I'm saying? Like Steve-O, when someone
I think you're not reacting the way that most people are reacting. I'm seeing the chat room react in a different way, and it's kind of cool to see this real time. I'm getting other humans that are reacting, and I'll say it exactly how they're saying it. Is this you hating on something that is purely just fun? Was Tim Tebow having fun? Because they're all kind of like, it's not a big deal. You seem more bothered by this than your average fun seeker.
I'm not bothered at all. I'm saying that it was great for TikTok. It was great for social media. Probably great for whoever was filming that and the people around them or whatever. But I'm saying why it's dumb because it's bad for him. So like what?
Well, it's only bad for him if he thinks it's bad for him. So if he doesn't,
what's in it for him?
Well,
like,
but if I guess having fun,
yeah.
Like if he enjoyed it, then
but that's where I think it's dumb because
dumb people
if
enjoy
you're
jumping in it. Okay, all right, hold on, I'm back
if
on
your
your side
idea of fun
is
is
jumping in a poop lake
is jumping in a poop lake as a millionaire
with a stranger,
and then having to be totally soaked in your. I mean, his clothes were $800. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like more than that, his shoes are $800.
Your loudmouth golf monkey pants, banana pants have doo-doo all over.
And then now you have to walk back to the clubhouse, change.
You got to put a towel down before you get in your Cadillac.
I'm sure the other rich businessmen around you are kind of embarrassed. Because even if I'm at a charity golf tournament, which I play, I'm going to play the Ocoee one, right?
Yeah.
And I tackle some listener into the lake, right? Everybody's going to laugh. But I gotta do it.
Yeah. Okay,
you would be like,
I'd be like, I would.
You would be embarrassed.
Yeah, I would.
I
would.
And then everybody else.
I'm glad you brought up that analogy because yes, if you and I were at the golf tournament and you ran and you pushed somebody in the leg,
at the
if you did it at the Ocoee charity golf tournament for base camp.
Yeah, like
I would be I would be upset with you because I would say base camp's out there and we need to put on a good image for and that was stupid. You
base camp would have laughed.
I know.
And the Ocoee firefighter,
I'm just saying me.
Shorty would have been like,
but this Shorty would not. I would not be happy with you.
Like I'm saying, everybody else would laugh and whatever, but it'd be dumb for me to do because what did it do? Now I'm soaking wet. Kind of embarrassing for other people. Other people are like, come on, why'd you have to do that? You're above that.
I knew gators could swim. A couple dad jokes tossed out there.
It's something like Tim Tebow is above doing that at this point, and the fact that he thinks it's fun, dumb.
Oh, it's immature. It is like something you would do in high school. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, because if it was for a reason, like he was trying to get
we're talking
viral,
this out.
If it's for viral video, if it's going to help him with the social media, and like that, smart.
You took me on a drive, and I didn't agree with you, but I do see your point.
This is deeper than surface level.
It is.
I go deep with everything.
I know you do, and we both go too far on everything. Like we're really we take the hardest path for thinking. Every single time.
Again, just because it's Tim Tebow in this particular scenario, if it was Steve-O, if it was someone then it'd be perfect because you are known for this.
Yeah, it's your thing.
It's your thing. People expect it from you. Also, it's good for publicity and social media videos. So Tim Tebow doesn't need any of that.
The chat room said, "What if it was Larry the Cable Guy?" I'd be embarrassed because he doesn't do that. He's a respectful, nice man.
He's worth $200 million. There's no reason for it. Now, again, if you're with your buddies and you're messing around and you tackle them into the water and someone films it, like you're just effing around with your friends wasted or something. Like that's different than you're at this charity golf tournament.
As Tim
Tebow.
I see your point.
And then you say, I'm going to tackle you. Now, I understand.
It makes me feel good to know that my business department has a... No, I'm serious. I'm giving you... Don't laugh. That my business department has a high level of respect, so I know that when you go to these things, you're not going to pull these Tebow shenanigans and make me look stupid. I appreciate that.
And again, I like it. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm like that he did that. It shows that he's fun.
It just also shows his lower level intelligence.
It was also fun. Gronkowski. I'm
special.
He's fun to watch, and he's entertaining. I'm not saying I like that that Gronk is Gronk and has that personality.
You did know that commercial he's in for the military bank. You know that was he didn't know he's been filmed. When
yeah.
It's literally he's just calling in to get the price.
Yeah. And it's always
Hey, Tom, Dan.
Hey, shut up. We're in the middle of a show here, sir.
And by the way, I don't think I'm smart. I'm dumb too. And this would be something I would do. I'm not saying I'm better than Tim Tebow or smarter than Tim Tebow either. I'm just, my observation.
I think both of us make up one Tebow, like you and I.
And he's richer than me, more successful than I'll ever be. Lots of things.
But the one thing we have going for us is we're not dumb enough to jump into lake.
I am, though. That's the problem. And that's why.
Well, you're not actively doing it.
That's why I'm so confident about what I'm saying. Because I know how dumb I am. So you know what I'm saying? Like
I do see what you're saying.
And I'll do something like that if I think that it will make other people happy around me, but that's a dumb thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I do. You brought me around, man. You totally made me see your point. We're going to power? Let's power through. Let's just keep going. This is fun. I like doing these voicemails. Again, if you want to leave us a voicemail message, 1-844-TOMNDAN, or use our free app with all of our content on there. This one has to do with VR. I'm getting a lot of voicemail messages and email messages from people that are really excited that we're the VR guys. We're the one-stop shop for everything VR. Nobody does VR like we do VR. TDVR. We are the virtual reality guys. Mm-hmm. We're the influencers. Thumb on the pulse.
Hey guys, Chris from Ormond Beach. Listening to Mondays, our corporate time, and I find myself being interested in this virtual reality thing you guys are doing. And I've seen on YouTube a channel where a guy is playing this virtual reality game called Boneworks. The user, I think his name is Joe AH or Joa. I don't know how you pronounce it, but essentially this guy is doing everything you want to do in VR. Shooting guns, flipping, doing all of that.
I looked up this guy. This guy has like a warehouse and he has like trampolines, and he will like flip and shoot. Like he's doing it right. This VR guy.
And is it just for him or is it for other people?
It's just for him. It's like his channel, his videos, and him showing stuff,
So he's set up a location that he's mapped out.
A lot of guys are kind of doing that, where they'll take a room in their house and they'll basically dedicate it.
Turn into a VR room,
Yeah, where you just have this room where you can go in and you're free from obstacles, and, the flooring is nice and...
Dude, we call our landlord, right? Is that place right next door? Is it rented out already?
No.
It's been empty for months, right?
I think the yoga lady that was there died in there. I think her body's in there.
Yeah. No one's been there for a long time. And I think our landlord owns that building too, right?
Every morning, he does. Every morning when I would get here, I'd go to set up the studio. I'd go to walk to the door and I'd see her. She'd have her blinds open. It's like when she saw me, she's like, the perverts are here. And I'm not looking at her windows or anything, but she was always closing the windows. Well, one day they closed and they never opened back up, and I think she's in there. Have you smelled anything?
And
it's cold right now. She's been sitting in there for a while.
What if we rented that place out and we turned it into Tom and Dan's VR experience, right? And then we have our listeners come, or anybody driving.
We need a cooler name than Tom and Dan VR experience. Everybody. Okay, like even our buddy Kirk, who does the NFTs. Like he's got Mercury Meta. Everything's meta now.
Virtual insanity.
Yes, virtual insanity.
And then all it plays is Jamiroquai.
Virtual Tom Danity.
All right, there we go. Okay,
Virtual Tom Danity.
All right, that's why you're around here. That's why you make the big bucks.
I'm only here for the puns.
Virtual Tom and Danity.
It's Tom Danity.
Oh, okay, whatever.
But we could change it.
Anyway, and then we, have a VR experience. I don't know what we do in there. It has to involve like sex elements.
yeah, it's all sex.
Oh yeah. We'll get some sex workers.
Is it?
And then
they're too stupid to use the VR equipment.
No. But because
they're mostly old.
But that's where
they're all old ladies. They're all like in their 50s, like true sex workers.
Remember when George Costanza or someone they started a frozen yogurt.
Let's call it Costanza's VR. That's a better name.
I think it wasn't George Costanza. Remember the Seinfeld episode where there was they said fat-free yogurt place, and then it wasn't. They just said that, and then everybody's getting fat. So we say like VR sex,
fat-free VR,
and then you put on the helmet, and then we actually have real sex workers service you. And then you're
that's disgusting.
But it's just
I don't want to be walking around like the guy that's like servicing the coin operated laundromat. I don't want to be working that thing.
Yeah, but how
do we keep the ladies in there like doing their? How do we make sure they're
we pay
on
them?
task?
I mean, you pay like, and it's all a facade for husbands to say like, hey, Tom and Dan's virtual
insanity.
It is like this virtual sex experience, but it's not. It's real sex. And
why don't we just? Can we ditch the VR equipment because it's too expensive?
No,
if it's just actual sex.
But that's what you tell your wife.
Well, I can put some goggles on. I'll go down to Walmart and buy a bunch of swim goggles and spray paint them to look like VR.
Yeah, we don't even have any VR.
Don't even plug them in.
It's also
it's like the Red Hot Chili Peppers at the Super Bowl. Don't plug your guitars in.
It's for BDMs to cheat on their wives, because that's what they want to do, but tell their wives it's virtual so they don't think it's as bad. You see what I'm saying? It's like going to
it's a lie.
Yes. But it's all for the money.
So we're just selling a lie.
Yeah. I mean,
they don't even need to come here. Can't they just lie to their wife and say, I didn't cheat on you? Same thing. It's like, why are we the ones with the building? We're paying the rent. I got sex workers involved.
Well, because other than that, you have to go down to OBT. I don't know where you get prostitutes nowadays.
It used to be down there where your wife used to work at the moving company on OBT.
Yeah,
down there near Florida Mall, you see them, but they're all old, man.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah, no one wants to do that. Like, so then you go to the massage parlor, but you can't tell your wife you're going to a massage parlor. Like
why not?
But everybody knows what happens there now because of Robert Kraft and all the news.
Kraft's fault.
Well, if you go to a massage parlor and be like, "Hey, I'm swinging by the Lee Road massage parlor," your wife's gonna know you're cheating. If you go to Tom and Dan's virtual reality, then it's like, okay,
we're tangenting, but serious question. Serious question, and we're tangenting, and I like this idea.
I'm done with that.
I like
Move on.
All done. Robert Kraft.
Yes.
There have been multiple instances where since his, little massage deal, where has he had another massage since then? He has, right?
Yeah, but
has he mentioned to somebody like, I think I'll go get a massage? Like anytime he uses the term massage from now into the time he dies, it will trigger a memory in his brain of him getting sex from a massage lady, right? Always. The word massage has been ruined.
Yeah, I don't think it was sex either. I think it was just,
That's sex. It's a version of sex.
Well, it's an act, but it's a hand. So it's kind of like, nah, It's,
I don't think
it's
that.
The smallest.
Oh, say that to your wife. Go, man.
I've talked to Crystal about this. Remember, it was a whole thing back in the day.
I think it's changed though.
About in her younger days, pre-family, she used to be like, I don't consider that
a
cheating.
Hand, no big deal.
Now
it's the hand that fathered her sons.
Also, she's gotten older, more conservative. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she's not
her voting record. It's shocking.
She's not as free-willed and crazy as she used to be.
Let's try this one right here because I have a feeling that this one is going to be extremely unfortunate.
Hey, Tom and Dan. You guys were talking about, on your last Friday Free Show, talking with Ross about all the hamsters and whatnot. One time I was at Petco, me and my ex-wife, and they were giving away free hamsters, and I think we already had one. We had two. Anyways, they were giving away a free cage, and it said the only caveat was you had to take the hamsters that were in it. So I was like, hell yeah, I'll take it. It had all the whoop-de-doos and swirls and tunnels and whatever in it. So took it home and got home, pulled the little dome thing out of the bedding, and there were 50 to 100 little hamsters in this thing, all piled in there. So I was like,
50 to 100.
How many hamsters do you give birth to?
I
Like
think
other-
hamsters give birth to like 25 at a time or something.
Is
I think
it like
they
that?
poop them a bunch out.
25. There's a lot
It's a
of
lot.
hamsters.
Well, I think 20 of them are for snacking, right? Don't they they poop them out and they eat them up, and then 5 of them are their kids.
Yeah, I mean,
God, it'd be weird watching my wife do that.
how many hamsters could one hamster hold inside its tiny hamster uterus?
You know how much I know? I was gonna say I was gonna go vagina because that's how much of an idiot I am.
fuck this, I'm not keeping these things. So I just shoot them off into the backyard and wished them luck. And for about 3 or 4 months, every night when I would go to sleep, you would hear these things out there screaming because the neighborhood cat was getting them. And so one night I'm pulling up to my house. It's dark, so I'm pulling up to my house, and my headlight shine on the side of my house, and I see this little gerbil like getting attacked by this cat, but this little gerbil sitting on his hind
Pause for a
legs.
second.
This
So
guy-
you're insane, sir.
Yeah, God Almighty.
Also, this is why I'm confused. So you're at some sort of, what did you say, pet store?
Petco.
He's at Petco, and first of all, if I'm walking through Petco and someone's like, "Hey, I'll give you this whole cage of hamsters," I'm like, "You couldn't." If you paid me $200, I wouldn't take that. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the hell randomly wants an entire cage of hamsters and is willing to take it on a whim of just like someone giving it to you?
Dad that makes poor decisions and thinks he can be a hero to his kids. I can see a scenario where this would happen. I mean,
Okay.
obviously it did. I mean,
It did happen, but this is why I'm confused. So you're the type of personality to take a whole cage of hamsters on a whim, right? Like unplanned, here's a cage of hamsters, and you wanted it, right? So that makes me think you somewhat enjoy hamsters, right? I'm just following
well,
the
the
logic.
chat
here.
room's worried about his enjoyment of punting them into the yard.
Well, that's why
Yeah.
I'm confused. So by you taking a cage of hamsters at Petco tells me that you somehow wanted or enjoy hamsters even a little bit, right? Because why else would you take the cage of hamsters? And then
some people have an addiction to free stuff, though. Have you ever met those people?
Well, that's why you're
sick people-
insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are sick people that, like, no matter what it is,
you just take it. Why?
I
It's
hate-
a burden
I hate
to you.
to admit this, but my dad had an element of getting anything for free because he'd bring something home for free, and then later that night I'd see it in the trash. Like, he had to give
why
it a
not?
beat. He had to give it a beat.
Yeah, that's a different mental illness because that then you took all those baby hamsters and you just let them and then
Don't kill 'em.
Listen to them die overnight and you laugh about it like you're crazy, sir. Why do you hate hamsters? Did you buy them for the purpose of torturing them?
I mean, at the very
You're
least,
insane.
you're conflicted about how you feel about hamsters because you either you love them or hate them. I don't
Yeah.
know. You're conflicted, though.
So you'll just take anything someone offers for free? That's insane. Like, who would just take a cage of hamsters if you didn't really enjoy hamsters? Anyway, all right. Yeah.
Also, the chat room is, and this happens. They're debating whether or not they think it even happened. You know, because that's a lot of hamsters. Sounds like a lot of like exaggeration possibly there. We'll
That's a
continue.
weird thing to make up.
Yeah, we'll try this one.
Hey, what's up, guys and ladies? Hilton Head BDM here. Just driving around really high, and I was thinking about. I went to the store earlier, grocery shopping, and I noticed that it was like half empty. Like my grocery store is like half empty. You know, we all heard that there might be shortages, and it seems to be happening. And I thought to myself, well, what are people gonna do? And then I realized, and I'm saving lives here. Just go to like McDonald's or something. Everything will be fine.
All right, sir.
I did enjoy how high he was and the fact that he thought that was like a revelation. I enjoyed this voicemail a lot more than I thought I would.
Now, you do understand that if the grocery stores are empty, is going to be a bigger problem than just going to McDonald's.
He didn't see that, but I enjoyed this voicemail a lot.
It's going to be real bad where you're going to have to make the hard decision whether you join the resistance and fight or you just eat a bullet at home. You know what I'm saying? Like, it will get real bad if the grocery stores are empty, more than just a long line at McDonald's. McDonald's ain't gonna save us. That's all I'm saying, because they're
killing us.
They need to. If the supply chain is broken down that much, McDonald's isn't getting anything to cook either. Anyway.
Have you had anything that's been delayed recently that you needed that you couldn't find?
The only pain in the ass, and this really didn't have to do with a little bit of supply shortages, but when my pool filter and that thing that goes around the top, then they were like, well, this piece is $400 and it'll take 3 months to get. And 3 months, it doesn't work. And then I had to buy an entire new pool filter. Now my pool filter was old anyway, so it was like, all right, whatever. I'll pay the extra money. But that was more of a problem of a factory burned down. My pool guy was telling me there's a factory burned down, and then some other plastic molding thing. It was multiple problems and the supply shortages. But I just from everybody having COVID, if you go to the grocery store, there's no Gatorade and stuff, because people are buying stuff that you buy when you get sick, right? It doesn't take that much. All these stores just order. We saw it with toilet paper and stuff like that. They order the exact amount they need based on people's buying habits, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So then they have a computer system that orders stuff as it gets bought, and then it has inventory, and as things dwindle down, and it's not used to all of a sudden a surge of people buying one type of thing, and then when that happens everywhere, then it gets backed up for X amount of months. And, it's the same thing with the cars and all this
We're
stuff.
waiting on chips, right? I mean, for people's vehicles, I guess, that they have on order and stuff like that.
Oh, I mean, the dealerships, they're out of inventory. Most things are like that.
I get a call every week about, well, it's really Andrea's SUV, but they call weekly. They're like, you want to sell it? I'm like, nope, not this week.
I guess all I can say is it just is patience, and then it's hey, things are different than they used to be. Yeah. So it's we have to everybody's dealing with it too. It's not, not just you.
I haven't found anything yet where I was like, oh no, I don't have a necessity. You know what I mean? Like I think people want to make it a little worse than it is. I mean, if you have to use Degree deodorant instead of your Suave, you're going to be just fine. You'll be all right.
We are.
I don't consider that a complaint. You see what I'm saying?
Some
people they'll be like, they're out of my the deodorant. There's nothing there, and I'm like, well, it's just the one you like. There's deodorant there. It's just not the stuff you like.
Yeah. And I know some people. I mean, and then obviously this is our experience. Some people, I'm sure there was things that were life altering.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry for that, but for the most part, you're right. People just they complain too much when minor inconveniences happen.
I'm trying to get better about that myself.
And it's it's a minor inconvenience. Crystal still has a cough from her COVID.
I know, she was talking about it this morning.
And she's coughing all night, and she got bronchitis from her COVID.
Coughing gives me a headache. If I cough enough, that just the way that I cough, I don't know if she has this, but the way that I execute a cough in my body is violent enough where it makes my head hurt. Because it's the percussive aspect of the cough, whacks my brain or something. I hate it.
But then it's Crystal and I feel it's you feel by complaining people died. So it's this is a minor inconvenience.
No big deal.
Comparatively to someone dying. So it's all right, you go through this. So with everything, it's all right, you can't get the brand that you want. Some people, can't get the medication they need to survive or whatever. It's whatever.
Yeah. Or some people lost their loved one. It's
just go with the flow and
hang loose and wide.
Yeah. Just be patient.
Mm-hmm. We got time, I think, for one more. Try to squeeze this guy in.
Hey guys, I'm listening to ACT and Tom's talking about his time anxiety with his kids getting older. Just want to throw this out there to see if it makes it any worse. Tom realized that his time with his kids under his roof is already 25% over. So you look at it in terms of years, seems like a long time, but literally 25% of their time living in his house is already over. All right, have a great day. Love you
I'm not
guys.
sure I understand why people like to bother you with that sort of stuff.
It doesn't bother me. I am aware of
Yeah,
how
but it bothers
percentages.
me. It bothers me.
Yeah. But here's how I combat that, sir. So we're doing this thing where we constantly tell Tommy and Max, like, oh, when you guys move out to go to college, you can maybe live close to us, or maybe you want to go to a different state. And because they're so young and can't comprehend living somewhere else, they constantly like, we're not going to move out. We're going to live with you forever.
Yeah, that's what Maisie says. And I go, yes, you will.
and then I'm like, well, it's your choice. And like, yeah, this is what we want to
Oh,
do.
you're gaslighting them. So am I. So am I.
And then hopefully from years of that, it'll like Inception, I implant the idea that they want to live with us forever. And then because I'm fine with my sons being my friends forever.
Oh, yeah, I'm totally okay with
I
that.
want that to happen. I'm terrified of them leaving and then I'm alone.
I tell my daughter all the time, I'm like, you're going to end up living with me because you're not as talented as me. And you'll never be able to, like, provide for yourself because you're not as good as I am. So you might as well just let me work myself to death and then you live off of that. Right?
Maisie can already get a job now.
Yeah, she kind of could. She kind of could.
I mean, I am making my sons dependent on me.
She is,
my sons don't know how to use a stove, don't know how to do nothing. They can't feed themselves. Like Maisie can do my taxes. She's already independent.
She can do a lot. She started. Now she knows how to work the oven now.
Yeah. I mean, when she's gonna do the paperwork to get her own rights when she's 15.
I've started that. We walk by this apartment down the road here when I go to pick her up from dance. I'll walk by this apartment. It's wide open. They pull the blinds so you can see inside to see the layout and how nice it is. And I'm like, hey, you could live in there right now if you wanted to. Daddy will go down there and get the deposit. You could live there right now with the PB dogs, just you and the dogs, and then I'll come down here and hang out with you. And she's like, "Oh, can I invite my friends over?" I'm like, yeah. Andrea's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Look, this is you." I look at Andrea. I'm like, "This is you. This is not me."
She'll fill
I was
out.
a mama's boy. I was also a daddy's boy. Like I loved being around my parents. I was a New York lonely boy, and you can look that up. That's an old what's her name? The famous comedian. Wrote for Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
did the news.
I know.
Why can I not? Tina Fey. It's a Tina Fey joke, but it's true. Like I think sometimes when you're raised as I was raised as an only child, my parents were sort of my friends, and then other adults are my friends, and then you just grow up and you're like a weird little independent weirdo. And May got a heaping helping of that, even more so from her mom, because Andrea's so independent. She don't need no man.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I'm lucky she just drags me along.
Yeah, but she just took you like a stray dog.
Exactly. I'm a rescue dog. I'm a lumpy rescue dog, and she's okay with it. I'm a lumpy rescue dog that can sometimes lay on top of her with a boner.
And I also think, like, when I turned 18, I couldn't wait to take off and live on my own. And, like, Crystal was the same way. Like, we wanted to, leave the city we lived in.
I wanted to go to college and surf and hang out and do my own thing.
And I was looking at my sons, and I guess it's all personality-based, and maybe Max is a little more, like, is going to want to take off more than Tommy. But anyway, I look at it like, why would they want to take off? They're in a better situation as far as like, you got a pool, you got a house to live in.
Parents are together.
Yeah. And then it's like everything's seemingly happy, so it's like we've created a situation that I'm thinking of my mindset, how we were as far as like when I hit 18, I'm out of here, right? And then I'm looking at them. Now, I don't want the opposite of the old, they do nothing and have no ambition and just live off in
You
my
don't
house.
have that.
I wouldn't let that happen. Like they'd have to do something, but I wouldn't mind if like 18, 19, 20, when they are either going to school or tech school or some other education, they're living at the house. Like I want that. Because
Well, I had that
it's
type
like-
of relationship with my mom and dad. What you're describing is basically what I did. I went to a college that was like 2 hours away, but I always came back and hung out, right?
Yeah.
Some weekends I would skip and stay in St. Augustine and party, right? And then some weekends I'd come back and just hang out with my mom and dad. It was fun to get the best of both worlds. I had college and party. I got to do my thing. I lived by myself, but I also had the luxury of whipping over to my parents' house and seeing them, which I right now, as both of them are gone, I almost cursed. I am so grateful that I got the opportunity to go to college locally because I got to spend a lot of time with them.
Now, this is under my perspective of having a 6 and 7-year-old, and I totally understand when they are 16 and 17-year-old.
Different.
I could be like, get these GD boys the hell out of my house because
I don't foresee that, but yeah, there's a chance.
Well, but that's what I've seen with other people. It's like once you have teenagers, they're like, I can, you need to get out and do your own thing. It's like because now you're living with an adult. Kind of, and they're still a kid, but I'm saying you don't want, the next thing you know, you're living with a 25-year-old and they haven't done as much as you want. We're out of here. Bye-bye.
Get out of here.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We have our good friend Jana Shelfer on the line from startlivinglucky.com. Jason is too lazy to be here with us.
Lazy boy, lazy.
I think he's still asleep.
No, he's actually out. He's out there, grinding and hitting the pavement. But hey, we're glad to have you. Thanks for zooming in.
Thank you for having me. I love being here. I love you guys.
Well, we love you too. We just don't get a chance to see you as often as we used to. But hey. We got the Zoom thing, so we'll make that work. And Tom, before we were
talking about money, but before we go into the topic of making money doing the thing you love, let's talk about how was your New Year's, how was your holiday, what happened?
We had a good time. We've been traveling. That's what Jason and we traveled for the month of December, and I love traveling with my husband. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
but when you do
we
it
go.
for a long period of time, you start to look over and go, I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go home. And so when we got back to Florida, I actually did a happy dance. I was so excited to get back to the warmer weather. I was so excited to just be on landed ground. Like I didn't want to be on wheels anymore. And that's not a wheelchair joke. That is I don't want to be traveling. I don't want to be living we don't even live out of suitcases. We take laundry baskets. That's how we've become travelers. We just put our stuff in laundry baskets and we put it in the camper.
Now, I was going to
I
say
like that. I like the laundry. I think that's ingenious.
Do you?
No, I do. I think it's ingenious because my wife would bring a suitcase, then we take everything out, and then we put it in drawers, and then we live in it. Then we
There's
put it
no
in the
drawers.
laundry bag. I know.
Well, I was about to say, Jana, you may not get tired of traveling if you're riding around in Jerry Jones' yacht, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but
a motor coach,
but
like
when-
a $1 million plus bus would be pretty awesome.
when you're basically pulling a giant coffin behind you,
but
and
it's
then
like
you
a
sleep
handmade
in.
one too. It's not even like
a handmade jumbo coffin.
I'm not knocking it, but I am saying that there was somebody who had to engineer that thing, and it wasn't a big company.
It's custom.
This guy, he was like Jerry made
It's
it.
the bare minimum of basically it's a hard tent.
You know what? You guys are so spot on with this. However, this is what it comes down to. If I want to live my dream, which is to travel around, be a coach, be a speaker, build my brand. If I want to live my dream, then I have to find what lights up my husband. Like there has to be a meeting in the middle. And what lights up my husband is travel and adventure and roughing it. So
compromise.
do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the
so
compromise.
if I can find what lights him up, I mean, seriously, it was the camper that was the catalyst for him to say, I'm going to quit my job. And I'm like, okay.
Does he like it though?
I'll do it.
Does he like it though? Because like even
he seems to love it.
I've seen a couple times where he's describing like one of the times, I think it was like 2 or 3 times ago, when you guys are in the middle of a rainstorm or something and you're out in the camper and you could just look in his eyes and see he wasn't enjoying it. And sometimes though, I am the type of man that I am willing to choke down the fact that, look, I don't like this, but I don't want to admit I'm wrong, or I don't want to admit that maybe my adventure camper was a bad idea. So I'll just swallow the pill anyway. You do this too. Don't act like you don't. Well, you're just like, fine, I'm just going to pretend like I like it now.
Well, the thing with adventure, and Jana, tell me if I'm correct, is I feel like there needs to be adversity in adventure, right? So, like, going to the Four Seasons in Maui.
I went to the Four Seasons here in town. It's amazing. The Orlando Four Seasons is way better than your camper.
Yes, but
way better.
But their lack of stories, lack of adventure.
I have a lot of stories.
It's too nice.
I got Coors Light by the lazy river.
Yeah, well, that's not a story.
That's a good story.
But no one cares
never
about.
Sat and heard it. You've never heard it.
I just heard it. It sounds boring.
There's more to it.
It's too good, and when you have it too good, there's not really an adventure attached to that. And with adventure, comes adversity, and then when you come out of adversity, then you have a story.
Then
and
you
have
have the Four Seasons,
and then you have adventure. Yeah,
you guys, there's a middle ground, right? It's okay. So when you're living too high on the hog, then you're not hungry. Right? But when you're hungry all the time, then you don't feel like you have that reward. So it's living in the camper, but every now and then wanting to stop at the spa. So we are the middle people. I feel like that's a good place for us to live.
Yeah.
It's the prey and it's being the top of the lion chain and the bottom at the same time. That's Jason and I.
Well, it makes sense because if you just have it all and you are like, let's say, I want to adventure up, and then you go out and you stay in the nicest places and you drive around the nicest things and it becomes where it's too good for too long of a time. And then you're like, well, I'm bored of this. You know what I'm saying? Like you need like to have some bad to appreciate the good. I think that's in all of life. Like you need bad times to appreciate good times.
Good times, bad times. And write that down.
And you kind of want to live in the middle. Like if everything is a wave, people
stuck in the middle with you.
People see it with mental illness. Like the people that are like super high and super low all the time. Are miserable. Like you want
the middle, Jimmy Eat World.
You want to live in the middle and have those highs every once in a while, and then the lows too to appreciate the highs. But you don't want too good.
There's a balance. There's a total balance. It's the same with economic status. The people who are born with a silver spoon in their mouth, they don't know how to make money because they've always been given money. But the people who are born dirt poor, they're like, you know what? I'm kind of bitter and resentful. So it's like the person in the middle kind of can see both sides and kind of has a little bit of both traits, and they can kind of go either way.
I heard it. All poor people are bitter.
That's
I agree with you.
Yeah. I even say that when I walk by him. I go, what do you know? You're bitter. And you'll always be bitter.
Look how miserable this poor guy is.
God, earn some money so you won't be bitter. Yuck.
You disgust me.
You're so stinky.
So poor. I'm sorry, John.
We have to get that out once a day so we don't just start shouting it to them.
You crack me up.
Yeah,
Christmas,
but
go
Jana,
ahead. Sorry.
But you bring up an interesting point that it's hard to do, and follow me with this. Like, so you guys could have gotten a nicer camper, right? Like even a step up. Like you could afford a camper with a bathroom and maybe a slide.
You don't want to go Righteous Gemstones where you have like a plane.
I'm not talking about $100,000. I'm talking about like a travel trailer that maybe is a bunkhouse that has a kitchen and a slide out. It's not that, but you know what I'm saying?
Why couldn't they have just ponied up for hotel rooms. That would have been pretty awesome.
Well, it does kind of take away the adventure of it and takes,
but like, how many different, you collect all the keys. You don't collect hotel keys?
But it's the same
I've been
hotel
collecting
room.
hotel keys my entire life.
It becomes not, the adventure is the roughing it a little bit. And so
There's bad hotel rooms.
I think the moral of the story is, and what people should take away, and it's hard for people to do this, is choose the option that's a little harder on you. Right? Like, and I'm trying to tell my kids this. Like,
I do it with Maisie. We call it the easy way out. I go, why are you taking the easy way out?
Yeah. That won't do anything for you.
Yeah.
Like, you choose the harder option.
I'll give you an example.
It'll always be better for you. Choose the harder travel option. Choose the harder, choose the more adventurous option, which is usually takes a little more work.
But they don't want to do that, especially if they're clever. Like Maisie, they take these AR quizzes for reading to get points, right, with the teacher.
Yeah.
She just went through her room and found all the books she'd already read throughout the years. Like, she went back to, baby books. And then she's, searching all of them to see if they have any points. Because she knows she can answer the quiz because she already, read the book. It's some sneaky BS like that I'm like, why are you doing the sneaky BS? Why can't you just read the books and take the quizzes like your nerd mom? Why do you got to be like me and be sneaky?
But
don't be sneaky.
I respect. That's working.
I knew you'd respect that. So what, you're telling me mixed messages, Van?
That's working smarter, not harder. That's a little different. I'm talking about...
It's sneaky. No, it's sneaky. You made it positive by saying smarter, not harder. I call it sneaky.
Yeah. But I'm
I just heard you call your daughter a sneaky bitch and your wife a nerd mom. I just heard both of
sneaky
those
bitch,
things
nerd mom. Yeah, that's them. Oh, you know them. No, they're wonderful, but May is a sneaky gal.
So what do you say about that, Jana?
I say that we chose what we chose. It's funny that you bring this up because we didn't think about this at the time, but what we chose is very reflective of what we're going through right now in our lives. I feel like right now we're kind of going through a rebuilding period, and we're kind of going through a time where we feel like we're taking the road less traveled, and we haven't quite established ourselves. So we are building, and we are finding our way. And I don't really feel that, we aren't bringing in a ton of money. That's known. And so we're trying to live within our means. And
That's the
more
thing I
about
can't
the
do.
experience.
I can't live within my means.
No.
I have never, I'm being serious. I've never been able to live within my means. Like, I'm the guy that if this whole podcast thing fell apart, and it could, it's literally teetering. It's teetering, and it's teetering by a thread, and not a thread that's man-made, by almost like one of those banana threads. What is that? What is a banana thread?
You had to say banana. You had to use banana.
I fit it in there like a banana string. I don't even know why bananas have strings, but it's that kind of string is what's holding it together.
I saw that you were making banana bread.
I was.
Dan, I saw that you were making banana bread. How did it turn out for you?
It was wonderful. We have a really good banana bread recipe, and I will tell you, if you're out there and you fancy yourself a banana breadman, the secret to great banana bread is not bananas. The secret to wonderful banana bread is sour cream. Got to put the sour cream in it.
It sounds disgusting,
No,
but
it
I'm
makes
sure
it
it's delicious.
moist. Oh, it makes it so moist. Oh, my God.
I would never think to put, this needs sour cream.
You need sour cream. You got to put the sour cream in there. And when we do something a little naughty with our banana bread, we don't let our bananas get, brown naturally. My wife will buy bananas, and it bothers me. I like banana bread where, we have a couple bananas left over. Let's make banana bread.
Yeah.
My wife doesn't do that. She buys bananas and these are our rotten, I'm going to set these aside to make them go soft. So she'll set them aside and then wait. It's almost like they're being executed. They've been put in solitary confinement away from the other bananas, and these bananas will have to sit there and get a little brown before they'll start smashing them up. And I just don't like the concept of that. I'm like, it should be a natural banana. It should be a natural brown banana. It should not be a banana that you took
rotting.
You put it in jail, banana jail, and you made it rot.
So Jana, this is an interesting point, and this kind of where we started.
Did you see him check out on that? He checked out on that. And he's looking at you, and he's like, "Help me, help me."
No. With making money, so
Yes.
going back to like doing what your passion is, doing what you love.
Yes.
That is not really the same as making
Do
money.
what you love and the money will follow. I've heard that my entire life. Haven't you?
Yes, and the concept
It's
is
a bunch of crap.
My
Well,
mom didn't tell me
it's-
that. My mom actually told me, you want to be a musician, there's not any money in that. So I didn't get that.
The saying should be do what you're passionate about. And that is a better saying in the fact that it takes passion to grind out
Ooh,
the
passion
money.
grind.
Well, it's like
You know what?
yeah.
That's funny you say that because I was in a retreat this past weekend and they said that people are misusing the word passion. And passion is actually, we should look up the word passion.
I'll do
'Cause
it.
I think we're misusing that word.
I think that's
And
like,
if
isn't that when you,
passion-
that's like when you spit in your wife's mouth during sex, right? Like that's passion.
You're probably right. We probably are misusing passion. I guess I mean like what you're motivated to do, what you want to spend the time.
It's strong
To
and
achieve-
barely controllable emotion.
Yeah, I guess you're.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. You guess that's a wrong word. What I mean is like, it takes a long time to do what you're doing right now, Jana, and to push through the adversity to come out on the other side to start and to look back and be like, all right, now this is my job, this is my living, I'm doing what I wanted to do, but it took X amount of years of just grinding to do it. And if it wasn't your passion, I use it again, but if it wasn't what you really wanted, you would have never spent the years grinding it out to achieve it. That's basically what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's
no, I agree with that.
And people get it confused because they forget that what you like doing is not the same as what it takes to make money. Like I said, like for instance, podcasting, me and Daniel, we like making jokes with each other and entertaining people and making each other laugh and then making other people laugh because of it. Right. That's what we like doing most. And so, but to build that into a business takes all like 90% of the other, this is only 10% of it.
Yeah.
The other is the emails, the meetings,
Oh,
the
God.
grinding out one sponsor at a time, making sponsors happy, making
Just
subscribers
the-
happy.
Just the maintenance of all of that, just maintaining it. That's
Coming
the
up-
hardest part.
Yeah, coming up with content and little by little grinding out every dollar at a time. And all that work is not podcasting. All that is something totally different. That's building a business, and that's not what.
I hate that part.
Yeah, that's not our passion. But the thing is, that's what it takes. And then
I hate it so much.
So it takes doing something that you don't want to do.
Okay, you made your point. It makes sense. Yes.
to be able to do what you want to
Yeah,
do.
because I love this part. What we're doing
Yeah.
right now, I love. But the part we were just doing, and this morning, the stuff that you and I were doing, I hate that part.
And so, and that's where people get confused because they're like, well, I don't like the emails and the meeting with clients and like
That's
coming
the
up
most of it.
and the grind and all that stuff. But I like, the talking and doing in the entertainment part. And it's like, well, if you like that, then you need to get a job where someone pays you just to do that. And then that's not your original, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
you don't want to own a business. You just want a job.
yeah.
Because there are plenty of jobs where you are hired to do what we do, where you go in and it's all set up for you and you
That's
scoot
how
in and
radio
you-
was.
Yeah.
But that wasn't obviously what we wanted.
No.
Because this is where we ended up.
It's what I want now, but that's only because I'm tired of this.
Well, the grass is greener, and that's
Yes.
what. And there's
And you got to remind yourself of that. That's why gratitude journals are so important.
Yeah.
And I know you're not a fan of this, but I am 125 days into writing in my gratitude journal every night. Yeah, I have not missed.
Yes.
I have not missed a day, and I enjoy it. But mine is morphed into something completely different than what most people's gratitude journal. Mine is mostly just me with my phone because it's all on my phone. I just type it in my phone. But it's usually I just talk it out with my wife, and then sometimes I don't even write it down. It's just I have to remind myself at night when I'm talking to my wife the good things. Like I go through and I just, like yesterday, for instance, we had some really funny shows yesterday. The last one being when me, you, and our buddy Kenny were just like laughing it up.
Yeah.
And I used because she asked me what was their best part of the day, and I used that. I said that was really fun. Like I had a great time. I enjoyed that show. I enjoyed the dialogue, and it made me happy. Like when we did that, I was like, yeah, we're doing it right. That was good.
that was the worst part of my day.
So it's funny that I say this because it's the gratitude journal that really, that's what sparked really my whole journey. And it started for me, it was meant to be a gratitude journal, but it turned into a, let's write down all the things I'm bitter, resentful, and angry about. So it kind of became a mind dumping journal.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then
I guess.
I started to try to spin it positive, really. I tried to take all that anger and resentment and I tried to somehow find gratitude out of that. And a lot of it stemmed from Clear Channel. I hate to say that, but it really did. And it stemmed from
you're in good company.
Working in corporate America.
Yeah.
It stemmed from working for someone else. And so as I tried to transmute all that angst, I started to realize that that was really working in my favor. And now when I'm trying to make money, I use that as fuel. I use that as my motivation, as my why. It's like, okay, you know what? You say that inspiration doesn't pay. I'm going to show you how inspiration does pay. Look at Mozart. Look at Picasso, Mr. Kampmeyer.
Yeah.
He's retired. I don't
I mean, who won? He retired with a Corvette. I'm like, you won, old man.
Yeah, and now it's Rick Everett. He's cool.
Yeah,
he's
he's the coolest dude.
If we had him, he'd be cool. I could go talk to him right now. He'd be like, whatever. He's cool. Anyway, we just.
I probably said too much, so I apologize.
No.
I'm very grateful.
No.
I actually, like I said, I am very, very grateful for my whole journey. I feel like it's worked out for the best, and I wouldn't change it any other way.
So you bring up a good point, and like you wouldn't change it even though it was hard. And that's what sucks. And I'm trying to tell my sons this, and of course, like,
Maisie doesn't get it.
They don't understand, and it's hard to even conceive this because it means there's nothing. It's only going to be hard work for anything that's worth it. And basically, what I mean is like if Jana, if you started this journey and instantly were successful the 2 weeks into it, and all of a sudden you were making a living, you're rich, you had the money, a huge RV, you're going around and you're making, $200,000 a speech and, all this stuff, I feel like if it instantly happened, it wouldn't be as fulfilling, right?
I would not appreciate it, and there's no way that I would get as high as I'm going. It is amazing. I have had moments, especially in this last month, and I'm probably going to get there right now, where I can feel what's happening, and it is huge. Like I can feel the energy that's starting to build. I can feel like I can feel how proud I am and how I kept working.
You have no concept of this, do you?
No.
Is this hard for you right now? Stare into her eyes. Look directly into her eyes.
I am awkward right now.
Okay, look into her eyes.
I freeze when people start crying, Jana.
Yeah.
Look into the camera, Tom, and I want you to pretend you're licking every tear that's coming down your cheek.
I'm like, how could you be that proud of yourself?
I want you to stare into her eyes.
I have never been proud of myself.
Don't let her cry. Stare into her eyes and try to stop her tears with your eyes.
I have never one time even looked around at this business and been proud of it. I'm like, it's pretty easy. It wasn't that hard for us.
I looked around here and I was like could have done better.
I'm so dumb that I'm pretty sure I'm doing everything wrong, and it's still going. So it's like, so it has to be easy. It has to be. Like I'm not doing anything special. I look around.
I look at you guys, and I think you've done everything right.
Oh my God, we got employees running for the hills. Everybody, every British person we hire quit.
It can't be. We can't have done everything right. Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, that was stupid. Of all the decisions we made, I'm like, that was stupid.
You know what? We started the day, and this is a true story, and don't you dare say that this isn't true, because it is. The first thing we did this morning was tell Tony Palmiotti to use the company credit card to buy 2 wacky inflatable flailing arm tubemen. 2 of them. One big one and one little one, because we want a Daniel Tubeman and we want a Tom Tubeman. Tom Tubeman is super tall. Yeah. Daniel Tubeman is little, and they're like $500 a piece. So we started the day wasting money for something we don't need it. We don't need it. We're not doing events. We're in a goddamn pandemic. Nobody's outside. And we're buying flailing tubemen.
Yeah.
You know, I have 2 of those that I made as Halloween costumes like 5 years ago, before they were cool costumes. And they're huge. And whenever we have any type of family coming to visit or anything going on in the neighborhood, I make Jason put one on, and we go out and we like put them on and we flail around, and it's just become our thing.
I like that. I like the idea of putting
I'll
those
loan
on.
them to you. In fact, I'll just send them to you in the mail. You
All
can
right,
have them.
I'm down. I'm down.
So, Jana, I'm curious, like, if you look out there in the world that you're in, like, who is, like, do you talk to other people that are doing similar things, that have built a business, to see how they've done it? And, you know, it's kind of like when we were forced to do this and make this into a business, like Dan Cummins came by this, you know, this was 5 years ago or plus.
But we're meeting with people even right now. Like I just
came by
emailed
and
Buckethead just emailed me about like having a sales guy, and then like we have other podcasts and we get in that.
Oh, you tell him not to.
I did actually tell him. You know, it's funny. I'm all about the honesty. I said probably not going to want to do that. It can be more trouble than it's worth.
But anyway, so do you reach out to other people and like get advice from the people that are doing what you eventually want to do?
Yes, definitely. I surround myself with people I want to be like. And in the meantime, it's important to surround yourself of where you want to go, but then also surround yourself with people that you can reach down and say, hey, I was just on that rung of the ladder and I can help you up that step too. So I try to do both. I try to not only say, hey, give me a hand, but hey, I can help you as well. Because I feel like it's a give and take. And I think there's a little bit of karma involved. And the more that we can help, the more that it seems to trickle down.
I'm trying in 2022, like I feel like especially starting this business. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just feel like this year, and this is going to sound horrible, but I talked to my wife about it, and we talked about being a little more selfish.
I like that.
Because we are constantly putting ourselves out there for other people in relationships, whether it be, sometimes it's just our own level of like kindness. You know, like, oh, if somebody needed to borrow something, and I'm like, yeah, swing by the house. And like, when you going to be here? And they're like, oh, I'll be here at, I'll be there by 7, right? 7 o'clock rolls around, 8 o'clock rolls around, 9, I get a text. I'll be there in 30 minutes. Then they eventually swing by. That whole entire time I was waiting for, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So now when people ask, I'm just like, nah.
Be more selfish.
I'm
I'll
being
write
more
that down.
because the level that we were putting ourselves out there was at times impacting our own lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Me first. Write that down.
No is an answer. No is a sentence, and you don't need to rationalize it.
Yeah.
You do not need to rationalize it. So if you just say no, stop. Don't speak anymore. Just no.
You know what I just thought of, Jana, when you were saying you surround yourself with people that you want to be and like people that give you inspiration to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
I started thinking about Antonio Brown.
I want to be Antonio Brown so bad.
Because there's a lot of people who just surround themselves with yes men, and imagine how awesome that is. Because Antonio Brown quit the NFL and then
Hey, should I take off my uniform and just go crazy? Yeah, do it. Man. You got to do it. All right.
His teammates were trying to stop him, but when he got home, everybody's like, good job, this is awesome. And then you're like, oh, yeah. You never feel bad. Every decision you make is right, and everybody around you is saying how awesome you are. That's awesome.
Not every decision
That's what
you
I
make
want to
is
do.
right. Every decision you make is supported.
No, that's what I mean.
But it's even better than being right, because you're allowed to do bad stuff and people still support you. It's better than being right.
Any decision.
So it goes back to the way we started this conversation. There's a balance, right? There's a balance on each end. You don't want to be on either end of the teeter-totter. You want to be in the middle. And you need those friends that can be brutally honest with you.
But now I'm kind of...
Let me be honest with you. You have spinach in your teeth.
That's what happens.
It's the lower one.
You don't want that, because then you're constantly being reminded about how...
Spinach teeth.
Yeah.
Every goddamn day with the spinach.
How you're not good enough. You're not... you could be trying harder.
I don't say that.
If you surround yourself with yes men, they're literally just telling you how awesome you are all the time. Any decision you make, even bad ones, how awesome it is. And that's what I like.
We don't have that, though. Sam doesn't say... I say, like, hey, I would like, look at these hockey jerseys. She's like, those are too much like what you... I'm like, look at these rings we made and the dog tags. And she's like, I don't want to do any of that.
We're surrounding ourselves with people that are telling us the truth. That is wrong. You have to brown it. And don't you brown it.
Just brown it.
Yeah, because he looks like I mean, look at him on Instagram or whatever. He's having a time of his life. And
He's sitting courtside.
now, eventually, the problem is you lose all your money, all the yes men leave, and you got nothing.
No, you get more.
Exactly.
No,
which is why there's a balance.
You'll get more because the
But they're
world
lower
is
rung.
forever making desperate people.
You're
And
right.
forever making desperate people means that if I have influence and I can command these people with my money and influence, then I can control what they say to me, right? And I can insulate myself with my yes man bubble.
Dude, I'm going to start surrounding myself with Joey Mazant.
He's not a yes man, though.
Mike B. No, they will. Yeah,
No,
they'll
no,
tell
Mike
me.
B's going to fight with you.
No, he'll tell. No, because
No, Mike B's not your yes man. He actively thinks you're stupid, Mike B.
But yes men, just they tell you yes all the time because they're leeching money off you. I'll give Mike B some BS job in the Tom Van Empire, and then he'll just
Tom
tell
Van
me.
Empire.
He'll just tell me how good I am. Kratom Carey. They all tell me how awesome I am.
Hey, if you
Because
ever
all
done-
the yes men are.
Quick question.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you guys go to a party, are you the smartest person in the room?
Typically, yeah. Typically, I go to a lot of dumb parties, though. Like really dumb people parties, or they're more fun, and the girls are hotter.
So
No, I'm not.
I mean, think about that. Don't you think maybe you should be changing up your parties? Don't you want to go to parties where you can learn from people?
I don't go to any parties. I know everything, so there's no need to party.
Yeah. And then when people are too smart, it just reminds me how dumb I am. So I like.
Right?
I like to go and
I like
hang
a
out
good
with
dumb party.
juggalos. yeah.
Yeah.
Like any.
Have you looked at our listeners? Why do you think we
we
scrape? We scrape
yeah.
because we're just more comfortable there.
Yeah. When I hang out with the listeners, then I feel like a king.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, they are like giving me compliments. Back to yes men. They're like, oh, look how awesome you are, Tom. I'm like, yes,
pool
I am.
guys, lawnmen, saddle up.
Yeah. They're like, and then I feel good about myself. I hang out with, anybody that actually accomplished, like our sponsors. I hang out with them, and then I'm dinner for schmucks.
I'm okay with our sponsors because I feel like I can charm them, and I'm a novelty man because of my size. So I get away with a little bit more because of my size. I'm less of a human and more of a half human, half dog hybrid that I can like float. But seriously, I am less aggressive in any scenario just based on the fact that I'm little and cute.
Yes, yeah.
Like I can slide into any scenario, and even if you don't want me there, like you could be banging your wife and I accidentally walk in, and you're not going to start beating me up. You're just going to like, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like you're not going to be like, "Bah!"
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, because of your size, does that mean you can say more aggressive things?
No, it's the exact opposite. It's the exact opposite. Because I'm a novelty, people look to me, and I got to be on my toes about the things that I say. Because I'm also like almost like a leprechaun. I'm magical, right? The things that I say are weighted, right? Because I'm smaller and magical. The things that I say carry weight, and people have a tendency to believe it.
Oh.
So Jana,
Got to be careful with that. It's a lot of influence. It's a lot of.
I believe you.
It's a kind of a burden having that much power.
So Jana, is like, on your journey and what you're doing, because like it's interesting because nowadays, like it seems like, with social media, you can touch a lot more people. You have a bigger voice. Obviously, everybody in the world can see what you post. So,
Unless you're hiding it.
more than, back in the day, let's say if you were, going around and promoting yourself and spreading the good word, and not that it is religious, but just like, a motivational message, you just have to hit the pavement. And just like small bands back in the day, you just have to go from town to town, and, word of mouth would help you. So which is it nowadays? Is it still like hitting the pavement and just meeting as many people as possible and giving as many speeches as possible? Or is it focusing on the social media aspect of it? Which is hard to gain traction because it's like, the videos that hit and the things that go viral seem to be random.
So here's the conundrum. There's so much content that's out there now.
Yeah.
So yes, you do have a platform. There's so many ways to get out there now, but there's so many other people that are trying to do the same thing. So that's one thing. Like Daniel, I do stand out a little bit. I may not stand up, but I stand out a little bit. And I do think that one of my things that makes me a little bit different is I connect well with people in person. I think when I meet people in person, I feel that I can build rapport. And so I do, that's what I enjoy, is when I meet people and actually talk to them. In fact, that's when time seems to flow, is when I am actually just talking to people and getting to know them for them and just having a conversation.
And a lot of people have lost that, though. And that's one of the killers with what we're dealing with now, is that there is a difference between that personal, like in front of people connection, and even like a Zoom. You know, it's close, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not to me, you know.
So these are the obstacles that I've been facing. However, one thing that I am pretty darn good at is I've been facing obstacles for 32 years. And I know, one thing that I know is I can get over an obstacle. So I feel like if there's one thing I've got extreme confidence in, I know that I will eventually get to my goal. It's just a matter of time. So I don't know when it will happen, but I know it's going to happen. And I'm starting to feel just like a few minutes ago when I had those tears of, oh gosh, I can feel the feeling of what it's going to be like when I get there. I'm starting to have those feelings of, oh, that's what my future Jana feels like.
Yeah.
So I know that it's coming. It's just, there's a latency period of becoming.
Jana, I want to ask you about this because you made me remember something, a lesson that I learned from our friend Tiffany Martin.
Oh, man. And you learn, I mean, the listeners learned last week that you don't learn many lessons. So if you learned one, like you even said that. You're like, I learned very little. But yeah,
well,
Tiffany's an awesome person.
It's something that resonated in me when she said this. And I'll explain. And it's only because I saw the journey and I saw what she wanted to do, and then how she eventually was content in what she accomplished, and I'll explain. So when we met Tiffany back in the radio days, she was 19, and she wanted to be a star, right? She wanted to be a performer.
Well, I don't think there was ever a doubt. She was gonna be a star, so she was working, grinding it out.
And she's a hard worker, and she's always been that way, and she's a grinder, which I have respect for anybody that just grinds it out. But that was her dream, and she'd always tell me when we were sitting in this, she's like, well, this is horrible. This radio stuff is horrible. This is not my dream. This is just a stepping stone to get to my dream. I want to be a performer. Yeah. I want to be the next Britney Spears or whatever, at the time, because
without the conservatorship.
Yeah.
I'm just throw that out.
She wanted to be a pop star.
The good parts.
Yeah.
And then I watched her grind and start a band and learn the business, grind for the business. And then and then she eventually has had a residency at a local casino and stuff.
Not just any local casino.
In Vegas.
LA. It was Planet Hollywood of all places. I mean, not a bad one to snag.
And then this is over the 10 plus years,
15 years
of her doing it. And then now does she had her second baby? Almost.
No,
she's about to have her
this
second
baby is staying in. He's like, I'm staying in here for a bit. It's a girl.
And then we've talked to her about it. She's kind of retired from performing. And
she still owns the name and the band.
I remember when she got that residency and she was performing in the band and stuff, she said, well, I did it. And I feel content because I can quit today and say that
she checked all of her boxes.
I worked my way up to making money, performing, and doing what I wanted to do. And it was a hard journey because it's hard to do that, but I did it. Now, originally, it wasn't her 19-year-old dream, but it became a realization that she had achieved what she wanted to do, and that made her content. And I think a lot of people can learn a lesson from that, because maybe
it also showed her more potential in different areas she didn't know she had. For instance, business. Yeah. She was always a good singer and always pretty, right? I mean, that's Tiff.
Yeah.
But she had business smarts, natural, like you.
I remember that about her.
She naturally a good businesswoman.
Grind. Like, she could work it. I remember every event she was working it.
Yeah, well, she was smart in the fact that she didn't squander opportunity or squander relationships, and she's nice to people and didn't burn people. You know, when she did business, she didn't F people over. You know, she treated them well, and it built it up to a point where now she owns her own edible brand. She's got multiple edible brands. She still owns her band. She has other girls. She slid a new lead singer in, and she gets a percentage of them performing out because she owns the band.
Yeah,
She's business savvy.
But what Jana, like, basically I'm saying is, like, your dream can morph as your journey goes, and it's important to be content with your accomplishments and realize that maybe this was what I set out to do, but not how I envisioned it when I started, but being content about what you accomplished. And I think, you know, because it's kind of like with anything, with weight loss goals or anything, like you have a picture of Jason Momoa and you're like, I want to look like this. But then, you know, 2 years of grinding.
It's going to take a little longer than that.
And then you got, you know, let's say you lost 80 pounds, but you don't look like Jason Momoa, but you should be content with, like, hey, I set out for this, but look what I have accomplished because I set out for this, and therefore I've accomplished my goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, changing and morphing your goals as you grind, I guess, is important for your own mental sanity.
Or being aware of them, because sometimes they just morph themselves.
And to be fulfilled about what you have accomplished.
This is the most positive you've ever been.
I think, I'm impressed. I think it's important to celebrate your wins. I agree with you. It's funny that you're bringing this up because I've been going through some childhood boxes of VHS tapes.
Oh, no.
Did you guys have VHS tapes?
Yeah.
I know you're a little bit younger than I am.
When my mom passed away, my wife and I went through all the VHS tapes that were in her home, and 4 of them were my dad's pornos, including Pam and Tommy Lee, Vince Neil with Janine, who was only a female performer at the time. So my dad had his thumb on he'd get the latest releases. One called Gazongas, and another one starring legendary film actress Christy Canyon called Erotica Jones.
Oh. So I've been going through some VHS tapes, and I actually had them converted so that I could look at them.
Me too. I watch I was just watching Gazongas this morning.
I know that the last couple times I've been on here, I've brought up some heavy topics, but I think there's something bigger at play because as I'm watching these VHS tapes, I truly think that there's some sort of I don't know if it's fate, I don't know if it's destiny. I don't know, but I found one VHS tape that literally I was walking when I did this. It was a speech at school, and it was literally 1 year prior to my car accident. And I am telling the whole school, you have to take one step at a time. You can't take the escalator to the top of your goals. You have to do it one step at a time. And I'm like, oh my God, I was a motivational speaker back then.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then, yes. And then I'm like finding little clues along the way of my path. And it's really, really been interesting to look at. And yes, I do think sometimes life doesn't work out the way we plan it or the way we think it should. For me, it's always been bigger and better.
Yep.
That's been my story.
Well, Jana, I think we'll end it there, and people can follow your journey, of course, on social media and
startlivinglucky.com, the website.
And I've been putting up some reels on Instagram, trying to hone in on exactly what my message is, which really is becoming spin positive. It's taking our adversity and finding a new perspective and making it work to our advantage.
I like that.
Cool.
Well, Jana, we'll talk to you next month.
I love you guys.
We love you
Thank
too.
You.
Yeah, tell Jason
Thank
we
you
said
for
hi.
having me.
Oh, always.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Tell Jason we're sorry that he doesn't have as much
passion
about and just tell him we're sorry, and tell him if he wants to just, be lazy, the money will not come. The money will not come.
I love you guys.
All right, love you too.
See ya.
We'll talk to you soon. Oh, I did it. Oh, man, I got her. It's funny, too, because I'm monitoring the chat room, and I'm just going to be honest and throw it out there because I think it's interesting to talk about.
No, they bring up the fat thing?
No, always. They're forever going to bring up the fat thing. It's the fat thing, and anytime people are positive, no matter if you're genuine or not genuine, that people instantly think that it's not real. They think it's fake. And I don't believe
it's real with Jana.
It is real with Jana. I absolutely believe that it is real with Jana. There are other people that I know of that I think it's fake, but it does rub people the wrong way. That was what I really wanted to talk about. Is that ultimately positivity? Sometimes it even rubs me the wrong way. Like I get it.
Well, you're in a bad mood, and you're just like, oh, whatever. You're
Don't
so
preach
happy.
at
I'm
me.
mad.
You're fake. This is fake. See right through it.
My old lady's yelling at me. I'm miserable. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Yeah. But it's you have to turn that switch every once in a while. And
I thought you were going to say you have to turn that frown upside down, and I was going to punch you in the face and take my lick.
No, you start looking at things. That's why I enjoy talking with Jana.
I do too. It's
because it's because you're just talking stuff out, and you're like, yeah, you should appreciate the journey. You work hard. And
I can't be like her. Oh, me and
fulfilling.
Jana could not. We're opposite. You know how negative I am.
Yeah.
Like naturally, I'm negative. So a lot of what Jana says, I'll listen to it. I'm like, oh my god. But I have noticed that when I have practiced more positivity, it helps me. It is helpful
like
to me.
Meditation or journaling or gratitude journaling. Yeah, it's all like
the gratitude journal. Let's speak on that for
psychological
a second.
tricks that everybody should do. Like you're gonna walk around miserable all the time.
Well, the gratitude journal. You know who I got that from is Preacher Lawson, of all people. Because here's the thing about Preacher, is that you look at him on social media and you're like, well, obviously this young man, I can call him that. It's the first time I can properly call him that. No. I feel like old men are allowed to do that, right? This young man's got it all together.
Yeah, I'm about his age.
But he works out, MMA, he's vegan, he eats right, healthy, grinds all the time, always working, kind to people. Always good to nobody says anything bad. They're like, oh yeah, so helpful, so friendly. And talked about journaling, being mindful, being in the moment, that sort of thing. I'm not good at that. So I just saw that one day and I'm like, I'll try that. My wife does it. Andrea does it. I got it from her and Preacher. I saw them doing it. And it has, I believe, helped me at the end of the day. And I don't sit down with a notebook and I don't write, Dear Diary, I love all of these things. That's not how I do it. I just sometimes it's just me being in the moment. Does that make sense? Like sometimes it's just me thinking about good things I did that day, because if you end your day always thinking about the S that you did that was the worst, and that's me, right? I close my eyes with bad things in my mind. I'm trying not to do that. And I found that closing my eyes on thoughts of, well, you and Tom had a really good show, or that dinner you cooked for everybody was amazing, or you watched that show and you really enjoyed it, or I don't know, something I accomplished that day that I'm proud of. You taught yourself X, how to edit, on Final Cut. If I end with something like that, I feel better. Naturally, I just feel better.
Yeah. I end the day passing out.
Bye-bye.